Welcome back, everyone. I'm Nettie Owens with Sapari Group, and this is what businesses need to know right now. Today, I've brought to our viewing screens and our listening devices Bruce Kaufmann with Excel with Bruce. He's going to be talking about spreadsheets, and I promise he'll make it interesting, especially if this is something that you've been avoiding, or if you have some spreadsheet challenges. This conversation is for you. As always, we ask questions to help you know what to do right now with the challenges that you're facing in your business. I want to tell you a little bit about Bruce. Sorry, I had a notification that said we weren't live yet, and I can see that we are, so I'm not sure what's going on, but we're going to hope, cross our fingers, everything's going perfectly fine. Bruce is a banker turned entrepreneur, and he came into this pathway maybe a little unexpectedly, but is embracing it now and works with business owners to solve their spreadsheet problems. After working with Bruce, his clients have tools that provide them accurate information for decision making so that they can quickly and easily and confidently make those decisions in their business. Welcome, Bruce.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you're here. So spreadsheets, I'm just kind of curious, how did you come about deciding that spreadsheets were going to be your focus?
Well, like you said, just something I evolved into naturally. Throughout my time as a banker and a consultant, I was often asked to fix process problems. Usually it was something's wrong, we don't know what it is, fix it. And what happened is over time, I learned once spreadsheets became more available, I learned how to use them to help me quantify the problem and then measure and monitor the progress for whatever solution I was going to implement. And the way I got into this particularly was about 10 years ago. I was hired by a consulting firm, and a friend of mine who got me in said, if you want more deals with us, specialize in Excel because you know that well. So I went on to Fiverr, and I just looked for any deals that I could get just to help me hone my skills. And in the course of about 2 or 3 years, I did 100 little Excel spreadsheet problems for people around the world. I put a video on YouTube in 2015 or 16 about the very first one I did for a fellow in India who sold plastic cutlery. And that video got, it's about 63,000 views now. And
Wow.
It's led to about 20 sales of the template, and about 3 or 4 people that have seen the video and contacted me and asked me to do something similar for them. Some of them were a few $100s, and a few of the contracts were actually a few $1,000s of building a more complex system for them. And so I thought, well, if 2 or 3 people are asking me, maybe I should stop freelancing and try to make a business out of it. That was 2 years ago.
That makes a lot of sense. And I have a feeling your journey is not unlike too many other people's, where they have an area of expertise, see a need, and then hang out their sign to attract people to work with them. So one thing, as you've mentioned, that you specialize in spreadsheets. You've said in our conversations prior that people don't understand the power that spreadsheets hold. Can you expand on that a little bit and tell us why, that's your focus to help people in that area?
Sure. The interesting thing that's happened is because I was a banker, originally a lot of the requests I had were to build financial models. And that's really what I think most people think spreadsheets are for. And but most of my work now is for people that are trying to use their spreadsheets to manage their business. They're primarily owner operators, and they're just trying to manage or monitor some activity, inventory, sales, or whatever. The problem they have is they'll take a spreadsheet, and like a sheet of paper, they'll just start writing things down on it. And that works for a while. But when they want to start adding to it, scaling it, giving it to somebody else, modifying it anyway, then it becomes very difficult. And the reason is because they don't know how to structure it properly. And why would they?
Right.
I'm not running a business that employs people, has a few $1 million. You've got more important things to do as a business owner. And so what they don't realize is that the way spreadsheets have evolved, both Excel and Google Sheets, they're really good for helping you manage and analyze data if you
Mhm.
know how to structure it properly and if you know the features that are there. And
Right.
anybody who's been in a spreadsheet and sees the menu, it's like, who's got time to even figure out what you need, much less where it is. So the
Yeah.
other benefit I would add is you can actually get a very good management reporting system using software that you already own that is comparable to what you might buy from some off the shelf thing that you'd have to pay a lot of money to customize.
That was actually kind of where I was going with this. Are there opportunities to use these tools that we already have in our toolkit to make customized solutions that would replace a more expensive software option? Or maybe it's not necessarily that it's more expensive, but it's pre-formed, and so does it really fit your business?
Yes, yes. That's the case with many of the ones is you need to be a certain size for it to
Hmm.
be worth you spend the cost or to customize it. But the
Hmm.
interesting thing is you'd probably be surprised at the various ways people use spreadsheets.
Hmm.
Someone who manages quality audits for subcontract work for NASA and has to do 7 of them at a time, a fellow who does replacement screens, somebody who's responsible for fulfillment on the import of units of air conditioners from China. So there's all kinds of things that people use it for.
Hmm.
And there just aren't systems you can buy off the shelf to help you have something you can use to see what the numbers are for that. There's great power in it, and they're just evolving more and more every day.
So one of the things that you've just said here is, that people could have already put a spreadsheet together. They might have thrown some numbers down and a few columns. Maybe they figured out summing. I
Hmm.
think, doesn't take too much to figure that out. Um, but they're not utilizing it to its fullest capacity. If you have a spreadsheet and it's not working well, how could that be impacting your business? Is it no big deal? And, or is there a potential here for maybe,
Yeah.
maybe some trouble?
Well, you might be interested to know that I would say probably 95% of the people that I work with have already created a spreadsheet that they're using.
Hmm.
And the reason they're coming to me is because they can't make it work better. And it is having an impact on their business. One
Hmm.
way it has an impact is, let's say, a cash flow report. Maybe it's taking them all day or 2 days to put it together, and they need the information right now. And you can actually pull information from your existing system and create a report that you can literally update with just a few clicks of the mouse. So 15 minutes instead of all day. The other way that it can impact your business is they may need specific information. What is my productivity versus the standard of productivity? And that can have a real impact. For example, what if you're expanding and you're going to need to add employees? Well, how
Hmm.
many employees do you need to have if you don't know what your standard unit of production is? And if people are actually adhering to that, you have no way of, you're guessing as far
Right.
as that, and you can't plan. So those are two examples of how it can impact your business. And the
I'm
third
adding
would be that just say as a manager of a business, you're just wasting your time on doing something that is not what you as the owner, the executive should be doing to effectively run your company.
I'm adding up those numbers as you're saying them, Bruce, and I'm
Well,
appreciating taking 2 days
it,
worth of somebody's work and whittling it down to 15 minutes. That sounds like a good solution to me.
well, your spreadsheet should work for you. I'm not saying uh, I know a lot, but what I will say is with the resources available out there, I haven't found a situation yet where we couldn't make the spreadsheet work the way the client wanted it to work.
What do you feel like are some of the biggest obstacles that are preventing people uh, from setting up systems like this to collect the data that they could then make decisions with? Why isn't this more a bigger practice, or is it? I mean, maybe it's just my perception that it's not, but I kind of feel like people are missing the boat on an opportunity here. What do you think the reason is?
Well, it'd be great if I was the only one doing this. And I do get the question a lot. Spreadsheets, how do you make money on that? And I'm not the only one in this space. There's a lot of people out there that produce it, although they have a different background, perhaps, and a different approach to it. But I think the reason that you have that impression is that it's really not an issue until it is. a lot of people are out there who are using spreadsheets they've created, and they may not be as effective as they could be, but they're good enough. And
Mhm.
I think one of the things that I feel fortunate that having worked with and worked for and consulted with small businesses, I understand that unlike in a large corporation, when you run a small company, sometimes good enough is good enough. And the other thing that's important is no matter how good the spreadsheet is, a lot of business owners know what's going on. So you could give it to them and all the formulas could be correct and they can still look at it and go, yeah, I see the numbers are added up correctly, but they're not right because they know their business. So they don't always need a spreadsheet to know everything that's going on. Right. I'm sure you
Yeah,
know a lot of business owners like that too.
I do,
In
and
fact, you would probably be worried if you had a client who didn't have that in their head.
I guess my greater concern here is that my clients have it all in their heads, and perhaps a spreadsheet might be
Yeah.
a way to share that information more widely, so that it can be utilized by the team. And that's kind of what I was wondering is, do you feel like um, entrepreneurs are using data to make decisions, or are they just making decisions based on a whim or a gut feeling, or what do you see?
Well, I think that you're right to your other point
Mhm.
about sharing it with others by creating a tool that basically takes advantages of the spreadsheet features and automates the process that enables the business owner to then delegate this down to somebody else who
Mhm.
can get the information to them. I think that actually, when they come to me, the reason is because they want the data to make the decisions. And so the ones who know what they're doing and who are very good business people, they're always using data.
Mhm.
And if they're working with me, it's because they can't get the data they need. And if they're
Mhm.
not working with me, their spreadsheet either does what they need or they have a pretty good feel for what's going on in their business and they've just decided they don't need more. Maybe they get it other ways through talking to people, seeing what's going on in the shop floor, looking at sales reports that may be fine just now. So,
That makes
yeah.
a lot of sense, and I can appreciate both of those periods in a business's life cycle. So, if you've been listening to this conversation and you're thinking, I would like to know more about the data in my business, or I have a spreadsheet. I thought I had it working well, but I'm running up against these challenges. How should people reach out to you?
So you have, I see my email address is one way. You're free to pick up a phone and call. A lot of times when people have problems, it's just a matter of not knowing the buttons to push. And
Mhm.
so I'm glad to have a phone conversation with people. And if we can solve the problem in 10 or 15 minutes, save them the trouble of searching on the internet, I'm glad to do that. So either way, the email or the phone number would be fine,
Excellent. Well,
or a text. Yeah.
I I forget that that's often, an option, and so it's great
Yeah.
that you are so accessible. So often when we're in the thick of things, we just need to know somebody can start helping us, right? And
There's
start,
nothing more frustrating than just wanting to solve it right now and just, I just
right?
want somebody to tell me the answer so I can move on. So yeah, I'm glad if I can be available to help get them past that, I'm glad.
That's wonderful. So thank you so much, Bruce, for joining us. For our
Thank
listeners
you.
out here, please do subscribe, and then you can catch the next interview that we'll be having as well. Be informed of all the great people that have been coming on to share their expertise. If you are a business owner, I would encourage you to go to pick up your phone. We've already talked about texting. You can text to the number 411-321. Use the word freedom. And what you're going to get is my guide for helping you understand and evaluate where you are in your business. And if you have been doing this for a while, which many of you out there, my listeners, have been, you'll be able to discern what's working well and where some of those gaps are so that you can improve upon them. Go ahead and text freedom to 411-321. And now I'm going to go enjoy a hot out of the oven cinnamon bun. This is what's been happening while we've been chatting. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you and take care.
Bye bye.